Immediately is immediately, we know it, Minister, what it means. It means now. Yes. Yes, it cannot be any other thing, and I just want us to move away from being hostages of semantics. There is an established understanding of what the word means. So we can't be a parliament that is known for what it is not supposed to be. Thank you so much. Honorable Nomvalo, your hand was up.
Yeah, no, on the same issue, Chair, I know that you have closed it. But maybe you are hard on the minister. Maybe he has a source that he uses which describes the word differently. Because dictionaries are used here in South Africa to get a meaning of the word. Dictionaries are used, and the name immediately has been used even by the office of the president to say this decision is effective with immediate effect. Maybe the minister can point us to a source that he is using with a different direction, because I even went to the Oxford Dictionary, I went to Cambridge. The word means now. It doesn't mean anything else. So I was going to ask, where does the minister get that definition from? It's a clarity-seeking question, because it might happen that really he genuinely believes that it doesn't mean now because there is a source that he uses which describes words. So which source is the minister using to get that definition? Thank you.
Do you agree with my summary, Honorable Member?
I agree, Chair, but...
Yeah, no, we will pass the question, don't worry.
Okay.
Honorable Malem.
No, Chair, I want your summary to also apply to the minister. Because we, this side, seem to be understanding immediately to mean now. He's the only one who doesn't understand that. He gives it context of lights and all of that. He keeps on saying other things. So you are ruling, you must be able to communicate even to him or minister. Immediately means now, according to this meeting of ours, as a chair of this meeting.
No, I agree with you.
Yes, must not only apply to us, and he must shift from wanting to, because it's not semantics. He keeps on speaking about context. When used in a particular context, it will mean something else. But the reality is, it means now, and we are not accepting his explanation and his redefinition of immediately. We are accepting what you are saying, and he needs to live with that. He needs to accept that.
No, I agree with you, because I have said it that it must not be a bad precedent for this parliament, where every time we have proceedings, South Africans will have to bring their dictionaries along, because they know Parliament will be arguing if this is immediately, or it's here after, or it's this and that. So, Honorable Minister, we have an established understanding of what the word immediately means. And let us not go back to the past. Let's go ahead with that. Let's proceed with that understanding that immediately means now. Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Nomvalo has asked you a question which says maybe you might have consulted another source, and he is interested to know what is the source that would have given you a different understanding of the word.
I wrote immediately, and then I said preliminary report, and then I said UNESCO. Now, I can't say any other thing, but it is the right of the committee to exclude what I included in the letter. I won't contest that, because you are the ad hoc committee. I'm not dealing with the meaning of immediate. I'm talking about it as applied in the letter that I wrote. Thank you.
No, honorable members, let's proceed.
Chair.
Hello, Honorable Malim.
Minister, are you accepting the ruling of the chairperson?
Honorable Minister, are you able to respond to the question?
The chair is chairing the meeting. And
Are you accepting? We said we accept. He even asked us, do you accept my ruling? He asked Honorable Nomvalo if he accepts his ruling. So I'm asking you through the chair, do you accept his ruling?
I feel there is a prejudice I will suffer if I accept it as it is, the ruling. But, and I'm saying I have no problem with the committee deciding. But I feel that we can't exclude these other two words that I included.
Okay, I see Honorable Breitenbach and Honorable Ngola's hands are up.
Thank you, Chair. This point is dead. It has been flogged to death. I kind of wish it was me that had been flogged to death, but it has been flogged to death. We cannot, and neither can you, with the greatest of respect, tell the Minister what to say. His evidence is his evidence. His answers are his answers. If you don't like them, you can cross-examine him on them. And if you still don't like that, you can argue it at the end, but we, and neither can you, put words in his mouth. That is just patently wrong and unfair, and I don't know any process that allows it.
Honorable Ngola.
Chair, you unfairly clubbed my question with people who were talking about immediately, and my question was differently packaged on the issue of the modus operandi the minister was suggesting people should have done. But it's fine, maybe the minister can make sentiments on it. But I want to check, Chair, now that this matter is coming to a close, that the minister says there is a context, and the context is that immediately then the 20th. And that is not the context in my understanding.
Yeah, no, I don't want us to debate the matter. I want the minister to respond to that question that you have asked, and we move ahead. You had earlier asked a question. So if we were going to keep on debating immediately on Medelec, I don't think that it's going to help us. Do you allow me to give the minister a chance to respond to the question that you asked?
It's fine, Chair.
You can restate the question so that he remembers what you...
I got it, Chair.
You got it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Now, I was at that time merely indicating what could have been the case to clarify whatever, if there was any reason, if there was a reason to clarify it. It's a normal thing that if there's something like an instruction or a letter you don't understand, you can phone, you can ask for a meeting and on the site and so on. Then when you talk about General Mkhonazi, that could have been done as well. I could have lifted the phone and say, I pick up that you are angry, but I didn't choose to do so. I chose to be quiet and silent on the matter and observe what's happening. Thank you.
Yeah, Chief Whip, may you use your last 4 minutes.
You remember my 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. No, thanks, Chair. No, I would stick to that 4 minutes. By the way, the reason I was raising this point, Minister, I know that my colleagues have taken it to a different direction. The reason I was raising it was because I wanted to bring to your attention, to draw your attention to the fact that the subsequent actions in the department following your directive were done on the basis of a particular understanding of what the directive meant. That's all I wanted to say. And I'm not contesting your argument about the context and all that we're saying. I wanted just to draw your attention to the fact that the way in which processes evolved in the department were driven by a particular understanding of the directive. Now, I want to conclude by, I'm just going to read a few things here and then ask the last question, Minister. You don't have to write them, or you can write them, but it's things that, it's just to connect the many dots up to date. The first one is that you wrote a letter on the 31st of December. The second one is that Mr. Nkabinde, without your instruction, shares the letter with all the PAs, which I want to contend it would not have excluded General Sbia until I'm proven otherwise. The third point is that Mokgotsi talks to Matlala immediately following the directive being out. In terms of the evidence that has been shown in the papers presented before us, there's an indication that they, soon after your directive, started to converse over WhatsApp. The fourth point is that Mokgotsi and Sbia often find time to either talk to each other or even to meet. Sometimes they even meet where they were not expecting each other, but Mkhot would come across to greet. Number 5 is that Usbia, after your directive, he immediately directed that Tama dockets must be brought back to the head office. Number 6 is that no work was done on any of those dockets when they were taken back to the head office for that 4 months. And when they were brought back, I think in less than a month after they were brought back, some arrests were to have taken place. Number 6 or number 7 is that when Mr. Matlala had a problem with his tender, he decided to go to the sub's headquarters or wherever, but to meet General Sbia when Sbia was the acting national commissioner. Number 7 is that in July, you issued a statement distancing yourself from Matlala, and then you directed your lawyers, as was, I think, engaged on the input made by Honorable Malema, which resulted in an affidavit or whatever that has happened. Now, here is my question then, Minister. With all these coincidences, that in and of itself present a serious conundrum on the state of the security in our country. These coincidences, all of them. Because from where you are sitting, these things are not coordinated to happen the way they happen, but this is how they happen in terms of the evidence before the people of South Africa. Now, my question is, and this is my last question, obviously. Now, as a cadre of our movement, and I'm using that deliberately, because as you know, I'm the chief whip of the ANC. As a cadre of our movement, how do you intend to restore the public confidence and the trust to the Ministry of Police, to the nation, and lastly, to our movement, given these allegations? Because the web that I've drawn for you, it would be difficult for anyone to disagree that read together, it constitutes a particular and a very serious threat to the legitimacy, not just of the work of the police, the nation, but equally the movement that you come from. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me leave the first set of things from 31st, all PAs, not because they are, I'm not responding by saying I recognize them as important, just for the sake of time, leave them. But on dockets, I would recommend that the ad hoc committee gets a full report on the ad hoc committee and the state of dockets. My understanding is that it's not a simple matter of dockets moving from KZN and back and so on. And it's not a simple matter of dockets sitting in Pretoria and then back before we reach a conclusion on the matter. And I would attach a lot of importance that the committee makes an effort to get information. And I did at some point recommend that one of the people who can be an authority in terms of information on this, who handled, as far as I'm concerned, is General Motsipe. I would recommend that the committee makes an effort to provide that time. Two, on the relations between Matlala and Sbia, I would agree, seeing that Matlala seems to be a person running, I don't know whether this is the only tender he got or the other tenders, that it's not a conduct that inspires confidence that you have your headquarters where the entrepreneurs just befriend you to a point where such a thing would happen. And it does affect confidence, for instance, to other tenderers or tenderpreneurs and so on, to say, so-and-so is able to run up and down, but I am also a businessman, I'm not able to run up and down, it's a problem. One of the things that I can mention in this regard is that somewhere in January, the offices of crime intelligence in East London, somebody just walked us to get inside the gate, proceeded to the offices, asked for a particular officer, went there and said, once he was there, declared the office a crime scene. Now, once declared the crime scene, he made a demand of, I think, 1.2 million or so. And then the officer in that office went out, came back with 1.2 million, gave it to this person. Person climbed down, walked out of the building, out of the gate, just walked, no car, no, and then walked and disappeared, although subsequently arrested by DPCI. But I'm saying those things, they contributed in one of the directives to say, what kind of people do we have in crime intelligence? And in Randbeck as well, there was also a report that 600,000 disappeared from the hands of officers who were there, distributed it amongst themselves and so on. So those are the matters. So I would say it does take confidence. It does need to be looked at, our behavior in relation to business people and so on, if we are to inspire confidence. Leave that, go to, I do want to just pass the affidavit. We had a discussion with Honorable Malema on this, in this committee, and I said I share his views in terms of the affidavit, but sharing the views as I do, that is the very thing that is being used to keep on poking at me to say, there's a person I relate with when I say, I don't relate to Matlala, I've never spoken, but there's still things that are running. Now, when the lawyers get an affidavit I don't think I deserve to be, well, criticism is always, but I don't deserve to be, well, I would say we need to equally recognize that that is the very same person that is being used to say this one relates to the other. So when the affidavit says something and people tend to disregard that, I have a feeling that says that we are choosing, we choose sides and so on. Let me pass that. So go to the fundamental question that what needs to be done when there is a situation like that and people in South Africa feel the way. I would have said openly to this ad hoc committee that down the line you would have needed some measures, maybe not wholesale overhaul, but you would have needed measures to overhaul certain aspects of South African police service if you are to gain confidence. One of those is to say, what is the standard? What are the norms and standards for a police station? And I've put it to management that let's do the norms and standards for a police station, because police and policing is not just head office. Police and policing is what people see on a daily basis and what they hear on a daily basis. Now, what is the system that station commanders use to police their area? And so on, what informs them? And then overhaul the system of vehicles in police stations. This practice of a car breaks down somewhere Kukumbu in the Eastern Cape. Then an email has to go to the district office, then to the provincial office, then to head office. And then the person who fixes cars says, I want to wait until there are 15 breakdowns before I go down. It just is taking us nowhere. It doesn't build confidence and so on. Make the system work in favor of those who are on the ground, who are chasing criminals on a daily basis. You need an overhaul there. We spoke about that, but I don't think that as of now we are talking. In other words, build confidence from the floor and upwards, and do tangible things. If you have a police station which you promised some 5, 10 years ago and you haven't done so, and there's crime, people will say it's because that police station has not been delivered. And therefore juggle the way you build infrastructure, your model of building infrastructure of police. And so there are quite a number of things. I call them enablers. We identified them and we spoke about them. Build down, and let's not talk too much. Let's talk less and do the job on the ground, and then deal with deal with matters. As long as we have this rate of matters, the drugs and firearms, which affects people on a daily basis, where they are losing their relatives and so on, people killed, innocent. And for that you need resources. Let's be realistic. You need resources. And you're not going to get those from Treasury. You are going to have to deal with the matters on the ground. I would say it's a long process which needs drastic steps, of course with caution because you're dealing with people, to take. But if you draw back, if you sit back and you think that there's going to be confidence suddenly, I don't think that is realistic. It's not. Unfortunately, Mpemba, as I end, there are risks in doing these things. these reforms and so on. There is. It's not going to be like sleeping on a bed. There is, it's going to cause some gravel in terms of feelings and so on. But you need these changes. You need these changes on the ground so that you bring confidence to the people. And it needs that kind of resolve internally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Whip. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. We have come to the end of this session. No.
Sifika kanjani lapho
no.
Chair?
No. I'm saying we have come to the end of the session, not of the proceedings. We are going to break immediately and come back at 5. Thank you so much.